So let's jump in. What did you think?
I really enjoyed it. I mean, Kim Seon-ho, obviously, but yeah, no, I really, really enjoyed it. I thought it was really good.
Hmm. So which ones of his have you seen in the past?
Startup, which is the first one I saw. 100 Years My Prince.
Oh, yes.
And Hometown Cha Cha Cha.
Yeah, so I've seen the
Yeah.
last two, but not I haven't seen Startup yet.
Oh, Startup is excellent. Um, yeah, Playing for Love, one of my books, is kind of the vibe and the setting is all kind of inspired by Startup.
Ah, fantastic. Well, okay, well, it's a given that anything he's in, he's going to be fabulous in. Um, I have never seen the female lead from Can This Love Be Translated before. Have you seen her in anything?
No, apparently she was in Alchemy of Souls, which I haven't watched. So
Mm. Yeah, I have to admit, I think I watched 5 minutes at the beginning and went, I'm not in the mood for this. I'm very much a mood watcher.
yeah, me too, me too. And I'm kind of like the historical ones always take me a little longer to
Mm.
get into. I think partly because of the hats. I've got this thing with the hats, and they hang things on the hats, and I'm like, this is really not practical for a hat. And I get so distracted by that, I just kind of go, no, I don't think so.
But the costumes are beautiful,
They
and
are, yeah,
they do period dramas so well.
yeah,
By
yeah.
the way, I hope it's not too noisy here, but it's such a lovely day, so I thought I'm gonna sit outdoors on the patio.
Fair enough. It is chucking it down here. It is very grey and rainy,
Uh, yeah, it
but
could be
British
worse
weather.
in North America right now with the snowstorms and
Yeah,
cold and all the rest of it.
yeah, yeah. So, what did you think?
Um, I loved it, but it was different, and I
It
must say I
was.
had reservations about the final episode.
Oh,
Um,
my.
so I should probably just say if anybody's watching this with us that, um, there may be spoilers involved because we've both
I
seen
think
it.
there probably will be spoilers involved.
Yeah. I mean, I loved the mashup. I went into it thinking this was just going to be an ordinary rom-com, and then, of
Mhm.
course, it starts veering a little bit into, like, horror and
Yeah.
psychological drama. It started to make me think a bit of, The Trunk,
Mhm.
the chandelier overhead and the kind of atmospheric and the very psychological stuff, and I was like, "What is this I'm watching?"
Yes, because that was like it came on so suddenly. It was such a sideways step so quickly. I was just like, "What?
Yeah,
What happened? Have I just accidentally clicked on something else?" But it did work, though.
it did, and I must say I did love it. I Yeah, before we get on to that final episode, I did love, and I think you'll probably agree, but as a romance writer, that whole idea that every single person has a different language. I mean, obviously, the
Yes.
story is about translation, and Kim Sun Ho is playing a translator who makes it possible for the other two leads to communicate. But that idea that it's not just about the words you say and about the language you speak, but about the path into your heart, which I thought was very.
Yeah, and the fact that I mean, he does that whole thing where he talks about how I translate so that people can understand, but I don't interpret the situation. I don't. I'd really try very hard to be neutral and not affect the situation,
Mm.
except then he does. uh, because hero is being mean and he's just like she doesn't deserve this, so he kind of smooths it out for her. But yeah, he's a translator, and he what he does is he helps people understand each other, but he can't communicate his feelings. He's very buttoned up, and he's almost like a modern day recluse. He lives in the big empty house. His only real friend figure is his brother, who is unbelievably self-centered, and like his granddad's friend.
Mm.
Um, yeah, and so he's really bad at communicating for himself, even with himself, because he doesn't sometimes know what he's trying to say. That I thought that in a character was really interesting. The character of Cha Moo-hee was unbelievably interesting, especially when the whole Dora meetings came in. Um,
Yeah, exactly. It's, that whole communication thing that she could only really communicate through an alter ego. She had to
yeah,
almost, had to become someone else to really express what was going on with her.
yeah, because she was so used to putting on this front and just being whoever she thought the other person needed her to be,
Mm.
and just like putting on this smile. And whereas Dorami was, this is what I want. But at the same time, to her, love is dangerous. Love tried to kill her,
Yeah.
quite literally. So, yeah, so Dorami's doing this kind of push pull thing, yet, like, she's trying to push him away, but also she can't stay away from him. And that was interesting.
Mm.
And I also thought it was interesting that for her, he was quite safe because he wasn't interested in her.
Mm.
And he's quite clear. I'm in love with someone else. There's just no room with anything. I don't change easily. So yeah. And so she could hit on him safely because he wouldn't reciprocate as far as she could tell. In fact, he doesn't for ages. So yeah, that was so interesting. They were so damaged, both of them in their own ways. I love stories about damaged people. The Trunk I loved because they were so broken.
Oh, yes. But it was yeah, it was just so intense and so
Yeah.
but, it's interesting because Kim Seon-ho often I mean, all of his roles that I've seen him in, he's always a green flag, complete green flag.
Yeah.
And yet, I mean, just the way that he made it safe for her to communicate, he and when he understood her and he he actually saw her in a way that nobody else did, and he was the only one to pick up on the sort of split personality thing that was going
Mm.
on with her and
Yeah.
understanding who he was talking to at any given moment. It was all such green flag behavior, and yet every role he plays, he also has this damaged background. He definitely seems to like those layers.
Yeah, I mean, he's got such a range. I mean, I've watched a little bit of Waikiki too, which is like the silliest. It was just
Mm.
too silly for me to carry on watching. But yeah, in that he again, you know, um, yeah, he just has such a range. He can do silly, he can do serious. I haven't watched his sort of thriller type stuff because I'm not very into gore, but I'm told he's very, very good and very um threatening because the character he plays a gangster, so it's very threatening in that. So yeah, I mean he comes from the stage, so you can kind of tell in the physicality of it all. Um yeah. He's my favorite actor. I think he's brilliant. There's a there's a shot in Hometown Cha 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 where somebody's been in an accident and it's like one long shot of him going from just being really tired at his desk to having this panicky thing and then trying to get in the car and dropping his keys. And the range of emotions in those 2 minutes is just incredible. And it's a single shot.
I hadn't noticed that it was a single shot, and I come
Yeah.
from a film background. I'm gonna have to go back and rewatch it now.
But you know the scene that I mean, where he's trying to
Yes.
get in the car and drive off and he can't
Mm,
because he's shaking too much. That one. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. And she did really well as well, just kind of doing two characters. I'm always impressed when people play this two characters in the same show because
Absolutely.
that's like twice the
Have you
work.
seen Our Unwritten Soul?
No, not yet.
Oh, I highly recommend that as well. Also a little bit, eh, perhaps not quite as dark and psychological as this one, but it has that same feel. It's,
Okay.
Kim, Park Bo-young, plays twin sisters, um, and who are very, very different, and also the one is quite and that also quite a lot of trauma from their past. And she switches between, but she's not just playing the twins. She's playing because they swap places.
Oh,
So
they're
she's
playing them.
playing
They're playing each other.
yes. So it's effectively four different roles,
Yeah.
and she just handled that so brilliantly. You never quite forget who you're with at any given moment. And also goes into those layers of the relationships, the dynamic between the sisters, with
Mhm.
them, with their family, the different relationships they have with their family and the world. I highly, highly recommend that one.
I shall add it to my long list.
Yeah. I should
Yeah.
probably send you I have an Excel spreadsheet that I keep updating and adding more into. It was a double page, like double-sided. It's now going on to 3 because there's just so many 2026 releases to add.
That's very organized. I just kind of go, oh, let's go based on vibes.
Well, I have this goal to one day, have watched all of them, but it's slow
Yeah.
going,
No,
especially when you occasionally rewatch things.
that might be a lot. Yeah.
So
I
I
mean,
do want to talk a bit about that final episode though,
go on then.
because as a writer, I would have done it quite differently. It just the one thing that got me, and I know that, you've probably noticed this from watching enough K-dramas, they obviously in the, like, final episode, there is always a section where the hero and heroine are separated. Um,
Yeah.
Even if they're together as a couple, they're separated literally by continents or something happens that separates them. And I understand that. I've read a little bit about Han and what it means, and that need for, that the happy ending has to have like a qualifier to it almost. But the whole idea, and this is where the spoiler is going to come in, that whole idea where she goes to see her parents and we never see that. To me, it's just like, it
Yes.
just felt like such a letdown. I wanted to see a reckoning, at least with her mother, and I wanted to know what happened to her mother. This woman, you know, poisoned her husband,
She murdered somebody or tried to, yeah.
tried to murder. And did she go to prison? Did she go to, was she in a mental hospital? Did she just go and live a whole new life somewhere else?
To be
Why?
honest, I thought it was weird to have right at the end, "Oh, yeah, but not your parents are alive." I get the father, that makes sense, but that your mother is alive, because yeah, as you say, she had to have been in a mental hospital. That's, like, the only way, either that or prison.
Mm.
Because for her to be roaming around, it's just it's
Living
just
a whole new life. Yes.
yeah, it's just insane and dangerous. Um, so yeah, I thought that was a really odd choice for them both to be alive.
And even
And
just why do it? Because you've taken us through 11 episodes of her dealing with this trauma,
yeah,
only to go in the last episode, "Oh, well, that wasn't actually the trauma that you thought it was, and now we're gonna open up a whole new can of worms by just basically having you been abandoned by your parents,
and then we're not gonna deal with it.
and then we're not gonna deal with it." Yeah. Unless there's gonna be a season 2, but I don't quite see that happening.
No, I can't see how that would happen. But yeah, that was a really, really odd choice to do that, to kind of unpick the trauma and then change it. And I couldn't like, I was thinking sometimes you can see the reasoning. I cannot see the reasoning for this one.
Mm.
One of the things I really liked, with them as a couple was the affection. There's that scene where she's Chamui pretending to be Dorami, trying to push him away again, because that is what she does, because it's a safety thing. Um, and like you can see the minute he realizes what's going on, and then he just plays along with it. And then, they get into this whole thing where she just can't get out of it now. And it's very, very funny. And then she's like, and he gives her a hug and he's like, "Oh, you're so good at transforming." And it was just so sweet and so affectionate. And that was really nice as well, because, yeah, I mean, K dramas do that quite well, but this was
I think that's
particularly good.
their appeal, particularly to romance writers and readers.
Yeah.
Just that, yeah, being understood and being met where you're
Where you're at.
where
Yeah.
you're yeah.
Yeah.
And there's little moments of everything from, just I mean, I don't even know where to start because there's just so many of those moments, but it's like the umbrella moments.
Yes.
Having somebody waiting for you with an umbrella at the moment when you need it most. It's just, oh, that affection is heart melting.
Yes. Yeah, the affection and like the whole basis of the show was love as acts of service,
Mm.
rather than like the basis of the show they were filming was big grand gestures, big, beautiful scenery, almost like cliche romance. Um and it was just a nice contrast, like the things they do together that are meaningful, which are like going to the farmers market, and her terrible, terrible attempts to spend time with him. She's so bad at it, and he's so kind about it. Oh, um, yeah, and just I think the reason she felt she could do that was because she knew that he wouldn't reciprocate. She thought he
Mm.
was safe until he wasn't, and then you know, but then it's like safe in a different way because he knew all about it, and he was very supportive.
Mm.
I did wonder why she didn't tell Yongu, her manager, because they seemed quite close, and he seemed like the kind of guy that would help.
Yeah. And I suppose because, I mean, I did wonder, why he wasn't noticing
Mm.
more of what was going on with her and that there was this, that she was behaving strangely. But I'm guessing it was because he was now getting into his own relationship that it was,
Yeah,
his
yeah.
focus was elsewhere.
He's a bit distracted.
But I'm so glad that he got his happy ending. I was so rooting for him. I love that actor, and I'm definitely gonna go and look him up and whatever else. He doesn't seem to have done a whole lot of work. It's a Choi Woo Song,
Yeah.
um,
I thought,
but yeah.
yeah, no, I've not seen him
Mm,
in
yeah.
anything particularly. It was also, I thought the character of Hero was quite interesting as well.
Mm,
Because at first you're like, he's kind of weird and inconsistent, but then you realize that he's actually the person he likes is Dorami, not Chamugi.
mm.
Um,
But he also had a nice character transformation in a way because he did go from quite self-serving and
mm,
judgmental at the beginning to having a
yeah,
bit of a wake-up call and a
yeah.
bit sad that he didn't, get a happy ending of his own, but
I would have liked for him to get a happy ending of his own. He did a lot of work.
absolutely. But you did get the sense that he's now primed and ready to fall in love because he's had a bit of a,
Yes, yeah.
wake-up call of his own, a
Yes,
growth
yeah,
moment.
he was, yeah, went from being, there's some very self-centered characters in it.
Mm,
Yeah. The brother, I mean, there is a hint that he takes after the dad because the dad is also just, I'm gonna do what I want.
yeah.
Yeah. I loved the argument between, Hojin and his mom
Yes.
because that kind of showed you a lot about why he is the way he is because she's exactly the same. And they have this argument, and it's the subtext is, "I love you, I'm worried about you, I miss you." But the argument is so stupid. Neither of them is saying what they mean, and
But
both of them can speak lots of languages.
but isn't that so true to life as well?
Yeah,
So often in the heat of the moment, you don't you're only just dealing with the surface stuff, not
yeah,
really digging down.
yeah. So I thought that was that was really nicely done, and it kind of added a layer to his character, which is like, oh, okay, that's why he's like that.
Yeah. Oh, it's interesting because obviously it's only 12 episodes rather than the usual 16, which
Mhm.
Netflix does seem to be leaning into this. I think, Our Unwritten Soul was also 12 episodes, if I remember correctly.
Yeah,
So there wasn't really time because I think in a lot of K-dramas, they would have then given the brother a bit more time and maybe,
yeah.
and also, as the hero. So I did feel like there was a little bit lacking, but on the other hand, I guess in 12 episodes, they did the best they could.
I quite like the 12 episode format because I think some of them, 16 episodes is just too much, and there's usually around 13, 14 things start to wobble a little bit, and then they end up go complete the thing at the end.
Mm.
So, like, yeah, 12 to 14 episodes seems to be better. What was the one that I saw where 2 episodes were just clearly filler? King the Land.
Oh,
It
yes.
just had 2
I say
episodes
not
of ridiculous filler.
yeah, not one of my favorites. Um, yeah, that whole travel section where they go off traveling
Yeah,
and it's like a travel log for a bit.
yeah, sponsored by the Tourism Board of Thailand.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, Dynamite Kiss had a couple of bits like that as well, a couple of episodes where you're like, don't really need this for the story. Like the thing crops up, it gets resolved.
Mhm. I must say the
So, yeah.
one show that I thought never ever flagged for me, was When the Phone Rings, because you were
Oh,
talking
yes.
earlier about thrillers. I mean, to me, that I think that's probably going to be one of my all-time favorites forever and ever. Can
That and
watch it.
Flower of Evil, another
I
thriller.
haven't seen Flower of Evil.
Oh,
Is
it's
it similar?
excellent. Excellent. I mean, it's much, I was going to say more leaning towards thriller, but to be honest, when the phone rings, quite heavily was thriller. So,
Especially on the first watch. I mean, if I could have suffer from amnesia and watch that again a second
yeah,
time, I would love that because, once you know what's happening, it does take away some of that suspense and that thriller aspect. But that first watch was just, you have no
it was
idea.
so good. Apart from the last episode in that one.
Yeah. And again, it's that, we've got to separate them for
Yeah.
a bit
For no
for
apparent reason.
no apparent reason.
Although I think they probably did it just so that they could have the reunion scene. It was an excellent reunion scene.
Yeah.
It was just the whole lead up to it was ridiculous. Which, given it was so tightly plotted up to that point,
Mm.
was a bit of a shock.
And again, potentially maybe a bit of filler there because it's like, oh, we've wrapped up the story and we still have one whole episode to deliver.
Yeah, let's pull them apart for no reason and then put them back together. Possibly, possibly. One of the things that I really like the ending, actually, like the final closing shot
Mm,
of like the music from La Traviata, was it? Yeah. And oh, hang on a second. Just gonna mute my mic for a second.
okay.
Oh, I don't know how to. There we go. There we go. Turned it off. Sorry about that.
I must say, one thing I loved about Can This Love Be Translated, and then one thing I hated. I'll start with the thing I hated, just the driving shots. And I
Oh
know
yeah.
in film, I know that they're not driving themselves, and they're on the back of a process trailer being, towed
Yeah.
while they're, and there's probably, cameras and lights and all that around the trailer. And I know that, but they could have made it just look a little bit more realistic. My stomach clenches when I see them not paying attention to the road because they're so focused on the conversation.
Yes.
And it was
Don't
a
crash. Yeah. Also, because it's K drama, it's quite possible they'll crash.
exactly.
So
But
yes.
the thing that I loved, and it was just it just that made the show for me, was when they were in Italy, and I sort of recognized a bit of Siena, and then I suddenly, they had this hilltop village in the background, and I went, "Oh, that's Montalcino!" And I got so excited, and I had to immediately go to Google and see where were the filming locations. Yes, it was Montalcino, because I've set 2 books there. I've never been
Ah.
to the town, but I have done so much research. It was like I have seen that town from every angle, and to have it, I mean, it's this small little town in southern Tuscany. It has been in a few movies, but it's not one of the most popular filming locations.
Mhm.
So when I saw that, it was like, okay, I'm
I mean,
satisfied. This this show can do anything for me because it took me to Montalcino.
it must have been so hard to film those scenes because they are relatively crowd free.
Mm,
And I can't imagine like Canada, yes, sure. Uh, and the Japan ones were not that crowd free. There were people around,
mm.
presumably extras, but I don't know. But yeah, the Italy ones, I was just like, how are they getting these places empty? They must have. Then I was watching something and they were like, oh yeah, we filmed in the middle of the night. It was really hard. I
I've
was like,
done
oh,
that
that's how you
before. It's
did
one
it.
of the reasons why I'm so glad to be out of the film industry now because, you just do a little TV commercial and you want to shoot in a supermarket, and it's a night shoot
Mm,
because it's the only time a supermarket will, they're not going to close for you in the middle of the day when they've got business happening. So
yeah,
yeah, so many shoots happen on Sundays and on public holidays and on at night.
I can imagine. I can imagine. Yeah, those guys must have just been working nights the whole time when they were in
Mm,
Italy. Presumably in the summer, because some of the time the sun was up.
yeah. But again, as you say, the tourists are out and enjoying that late evening
Mm,
sun.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So, no, just it was very feel good. I think is if you wanted like a warm, fuzzy feel good show, it was pretty good. But it wasn't, as you said, it wasn't straightforward rom com.
Yeah.
There was a
It was
lot
a
of
bit
the
more
whole.
thought-provoking, especially, as you say, when you compare it to something like King the Land, which really was just fun.
Yes, yes. I mean, I enjoyed King the Land apart from the chunk in the middle where I just kept skipping stuff, going, "Come on."
Yeah.
Um, but yes, very much more substance to it,
Mm.
and the characters were just lovely. The supporting cast as well. The guy that plays the writer, he's amazing. He's in so many things as supporting cast.
Mm.
Kim something, Kim Won Hee. Um, yeah, he just plays all kinds of characters. He's in, oh, which one is it? Strong Girl Bong Soon.
Oh, I haven't seen that one yet either.
He plays 2 characters, and they are very, very different characters, and he's excellent in both of them.
Oh, wow. Oh, so many recommendations, things I'm gonna have to go watch straight after this.
Yeah, Strong Girl Bong Soon is really good.
Mm.
Um, yeah, the main actress, oh, it's Park Bo Young again,
Yes. Yep.
and Park Hyung Sik, who is pretty good. So yeah,
Yeah.
now I need to decide what to watch next. At the
Mm,
moment, it's either Idol-E, I don't know how you say it, or Sisyphus, which is a really old one, but it was recommended. I belong to this writing Facebook group called the Writing Gals.
mm,
They all write sort of low spice, clean and wholesome type stuff. And there's a lot of overlap between people who love K drama and people who love low spice.
mm.
And so yeah, it got recommended on there, and they recommended Healer and Where the Phone Rings and stuff. So I
Yeah, I
trust
think,
them.
when you write those sort of low spice, I find there's often a lot more community. There's a lot more of that sense of belonging and family and all of that stuff that goes with it, and a lot more healing as well.
A lot
And
more healing.
that's exactly what I love about the K-dramas. It's that healing, it's that sense of community and found family and family relationships and all of that stuff that comes with it, which, yeah, there's a lot of overlap.
Yeah, the way it ripples out, anything that happens to the character ripples out to their family and their friends, and you get to see that, and that is nice.
Mm,
And yes, we all want love, but we also want belonging,
yeah.
and they cover that beautifully. Sorry, I've just got a weird frog in my throat now.
Yeah, I think, after you mentioned the Dynamite Kiss was maybe, and it's a pity because I really want to see that lead actress. I enjoyed her in Hospital Playlist and wanted to see more of her. But, between you and the other reviews I've seen on social media, I think, maybe it won't be at the top of the watch
It
to
starts off really well, and it's, I don't know, about 8 episodes are brilliant, and then it kind of flags a little bit, um, and you could really watch to about the first kiss, which is, I think, episode 8, and then just skip to the last 2,
mm,
because there's a lot of stuff that happens in the middle that doesn't particularly get referenced back to, and it's just conflict comes up, conflict resolved, conflict comes, and that's just them trying to fill the time.
mm. But I think
So
Idle Eyes, kind of winning at the moment simply because it's so topical. With the whole
mm,
Charlene Wu taxation scandal that's going on at the moment and all this the real sort of cancel culture and the scandals and, uh,
yeah. Yeah, definitely. It is very topical, and it seems to have that kind of balance of like legal stuff and romance,
mm,
which works really well, especially if they have like I don't know, the case issue of the day.
yeah. Like
That-
Suspicious Partner, I must say I really enjoyed that one as well. There's been a few legal dramas that I've really enjoyed.
Mm, I quite like lawyers in shows.
Yes.
Yes, Extraordinary Attorney Wu. That's another
Oh,
one.
yeah.
That was very much a case of the day. Each episode it wraps up like the murder mysteries, like
Mm,
the murder of the day. Yeah, and that worked quite well. What was the other one? Beyond the Bar. That
I
was a
haven't
bit
seen it.
less, but again, that also had that same structure. That was very
No, I haven't
interesting.
seen, in fact, I think it was yesterday I saw somebody on social media, probably on Threads, who was an actual lawyer, said that
Mm.
both Pro Bono and Beyond the Bar were very, authentic.
Okay,
So that might be worth watching.
yeah. No, Beyond the Bar was good, but it had very interesting from a writer point of view, particularly a romance writer point of view. The setup initially was that was going to be a romance between the rookie and her mentor, but there's a 13-year age gap, and he is her boss, like her mentor. And I think there was a lot of kickback. So around episode 6, you could see them start to pivot and move away from that and focus more on the second lead and the 2 second leads and their relationship. And so that becomes the central relationship. So from a writer point of view, because I went in knowing this happened, you could see the switch happening
Yeah.
and how nicely they dealt with it. So they left it kind of ambiguous, I think, for the main leads, but they completed his character arc, which is his backstory stuff, and her character arc. So I thought it was nicely handled.
Mm. Yeah, it's interesting, knowing that they are written sort of serially as that
As it's
still
filmed, yeah.
writing as they're filming, and they
I'm
could
not
do
sure
it
that the
whatever.
Netflix ones are, though. I think the Netflix ones might be more traditionally done in
Yeah, there
that.
might be.
Yeah.
because that Netflix, I suppose, is quite Western in its management
Yeah.
and stuff.
I think possibly that's why they're shorter as well.
But compared to Western shows, which are so set in stone and they're filmed months, if not years in advance, and they really are. There's no pivoting there. So it's very
Yeah.
interesting to see that how they are able to pivot.
Yes. Yeah.
K-drama.
That must be brutal though to work in,
Yes.
timescales wise. No wonder the guy who wrote Squid Game lost his teeth.
Did he? I didn't know that.
The
Did they?
stress was so bad he became very ill and he lost several
Oh
teeth
my goodness.
with the first series. Presumably,
Mm.
it was a bit better with the second series. But I don't think he made much money from the first series because it's a set
Well,
fee.
apparently that's why they use a lot of female writers. Why there are so many women writers in K dramas is because they're still cheaper than male writers. So, um,
Yeah.
yeah. But that's I think part of the charm. This is why they've you know
This is why they resonate though,
attracted.
because they're very female gaze. And that whole green flag thing, because there are a lot of green flags. The guy in Dynamite Kiss, he comes across as a stereotypical chaebol hero in like the first half, maybe, if that, of the first episode. But he is very much green flag after that.
Mm.
And yeah, so many green flags. And
It's like Secretary Kim. I mean, I use that one as an example all the time because I think it's just such skilled writing for a character that at the end of the first episode, you're still going, no way, no way will she land up with this guy. She can't. And by
yes,
the end, you're like so rooting for him. To me, that's such skilled writing.
it's that kind of unpeeling of, yeah,
Mm.
yeah. And also like he's not mean,
He's just
self-centered, yeah.
arrogant and,
Yeah, clueless, but not mean. None of them are mean, and that's great.
yeah. And
Yeah,
even when when there's a love triangle, because I do love a love triangle, but even when there is a love triangle, and there's, the guy who loses is never a bad guy. Um,
yeah.
I like the fact that they're just
Oh
not
my god, you have to watch Startup if you like a love triangle. You have to watch Startup
okay.
because I'm still angry about Startup. It's been like 3-4 years, and I'm still angry about it. She was with the wrong guy.
Yes,
So,
I've had a few of those where Don't Dare to Dream was a lot like that as well. Admittedly, that one was, I think it was 22 episodes or something, and it
uh,
really did feel like it dragged a bit in the middle. But there was a time where I was like, I really don't know which guy I want her to be with. I think she could be happy going either way.
yes. The best, like, non-toxic love triangle was in Hometown Cha-Cha-Cha.
Oh yeah. Mm.
Yeah, because they were friends by the end of it. They were all friends, and that was great.
Yeah. I would love to see Lee Sung Hee get his own, you know, be the lead, the male
He
lead in a
sort of is in,
yeah,
oh,
something new that's just come out, isn't it?
yeah, it was on Amazon Prime, with Shin Min-ha in who I love. She's amazing. Um, I've momentarily forgotten what it is, but he's the second male lead in it, and he does get his happy ending. And that there is a there is a very funny scene where he ends up fighting off a burglar with two glow in the dark dildos. It's very very weird and very funny, especially when he realizes what he's holding. Yeah.
I don't have Amazon Prime, but I think I must definitely go and look that up.
Yes, I'll try and remember the name of it for you. And yes, it's it was it's probably not. It's like a 4-star watch,
Mm.
but it had
When you
its
say
moments.
4-star, how many stars do you usually rank them out of?
Ooh, 5.
Okay, yeah, same. I do the same. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it's kind of like not quite. I wouldn't watch it again. Put it that way, but pretty good still.
I recently did a blog post listing my 5 stars, and the list was actually surprisingly short. I thought there was a lot more, but I'm clearly quite a tough.
I think the more you watch, the more picky you get.
Yeah.
And yeah, have you seen Shooting Stars?
Oh, I love that. I've seen that at least 3 times.
Yes, I'm gonna watch it again because yeah, well, you know about Tony Doe and
Mm.
how I'll put him in a book.
And
um,
coming from a film industry background and having worked on film shoots and stuff, I just love shows that are about the film industry and about actors. Um, and it's amazing. You would think because obviously these shows are made by filmmakers,
Yeah.
and yet sometimes they don't always feel authentic.
Did that
Um,
one feel
and
authentic?
that one does. It felt
Okay.
very realistic to me.
Yeah. Yeah, that's another one where in the first episode you go, "Please don't end up with that guy. End up with the nice attorney, please." That guy is an ass. And he's not. He's lovely.
And so you say you've modeled one of your characters on Attorney Doe.
Yeah, he's a kind of a cross between Attorney Doe and um the attorney in Touch Your Heart, which is very similar character, very kind of uh buttoned up, excellent attorney, but
Mm.
kind of not very good with expressing his feelings. Um, and there's a character in a Terry Pratchett book called I've forgotten what his name is now. In Making Money, he's the chief accountant in the bank, and he um basically ran away from the circus to become an accountant. Um, and
I don't
it's
remember that one. It's been many, many years since I've read a Terry Pratchett, I have to admit.
and yeah, they keep thinking he's a vampire, but turns out he's a clown by descent. Um, But anyway, it's those 3 people, and I was writing it, I didn't realize until I was halfway through the book, and I was like, "Oh, this is where this guy came from." So, yeah, he is a lawyer, he's very buttoned up, and there's a lot of sort of flirting amidst the files and not knowing quite what to do with himself, and he blurts things out, and yeah, he's one of my favorite heroes. I was a bit kind of like, "Oh, would people like a really awkward, socially awkward hero like that?" But most of my reviews seem to be like, "Oh yeah, adorable."
Exactly. I love them. I mean, I love those Cinderella heroes that are, outwardly very cold
Yeah.
um, and then, they sort of melt on you. Just
Yes. You peel it back and you're like, "Oh."
yeah.
Yes. I love a beta hero. I mean,
Yeah.
and this is
And
the
then
other thing actually in a lot of the K-dramas, they are beta heroes, even the
mm,
ones who appear alpha, like in Secretary Kim and um, Shooting Stars.
and they never really change. I mean, they don't lose that outer sort of aloofness, or it just depends who they're with. They sort of
Yes.
only reveal their true soft selves to certain people. You
Mm.
get the sense that, yes, they may be, like in Secretary Kim, maybe his approach to people is going to be a little bit different at the end of the show, but he is still who he is. Yeah.
Yeah. The one where the character change was really quite visible was Crash Landing on You in her, because she was so driven, so alone, and so unwilling to let anyone into her life for good reasons.
Mm.
And then by the end, she has a team. They were still the same team, but
Yeah.
now they're acting as a team.
But you're right. It's often the woman who has the bigger transformation
Yeah.
in so many of these. Again, you mentioned Touch Your Heart. I think
Mhm.
so. She had the far bigger transformation there.
Yes, than he did. Yes.
And I
Yeah.
must say, I loathed that show the first time around. I think I only watched about 3 episodes and went, I can't anymore. And then after I watched Goblin and realized it was the same
Oh yeah,
couple,
Lee Dong Wook.
it was
Yeah.
like, okay, I'll give this another try. And then I was hooked. Suddenly it
Yes.
was just seeing them in a different light.
Yeah, no, I loved that show. I can't even remember. I think I just started watching it because I saw it on Viki and I was like, "Oh, I like him," so I'll watch it. And in fact, I like her as well because she's in Goblin as well. They're a couple in Goblin, aren't they? But they
Yeah,
don't
they are.
have the happy ending, not
Yeah.
properly. Yeah. Um. Yeah. And yeah, you're right. She does have much bigger transformation in that. Yeah. Yeah. So yes, I do like my softies.
Yes. So, can this love be translated? What star ranking would you give it?
I only give it a 4.5 if that's allowed, just because of that weirdness at the end
Mm,
with the parents still being alive. If
yeah.
I mean, if they just said your father is alive and she went to meet the father, that would have been okay. That would have made sense. Although I would have liked to have seen it.
Mm,
But the fact that her mother is alive, that this very dangerous woman is around somewhere. Yeah, I didn't like that.
yeah. Or at the very least, just tie it up. Let's see her in prison, and maybe it's a prison visit. But, the fact that she goes away for months on end, we have no idea what she was doing in those months. Was
Yeah.
she with her mother. It just felt like a lot of unanswered questions, almost like the
Yeah.
character had opened up a whole lot of new questions that they then never answered.
Yes. Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
definitely a star docked for that.
Yeah. Yeah. Everything else I loved. I loved a lot of the the slow reveal of things, like the dress that Dorami wears turns out to be the dress her mother was wearing. But I do love the anatomical heart embroidered on it. It's just so gothic. Um,
I
yeah,
did
stuff
love
like that.
her
I really enjoyed all of
character.
it.
From those early sort of, the horror scenes that they were filming to she went through a sort of middle section where I was like, this character's crazy. And
Yeah.
then, you know, as they in Italy where she was, sort of spending a lot more time with him, I loved her. I thought she was a really great character.
Yeah, and you could see she's trying to say the things that Chamui can't say, and she's at the same time still trying to push him away, but she cannot stop finding him. In the same way that Chamui cannot stop finding him wherever she goes. But she's just like, "I'm gonna throw myself at him because he doesn't want me, it's quite okay." Whereas Dorami's a bit like, "I want you to love me, but your kindness makes me wanna bite you." And he does, and she does bite him at one point. Yeah, the whole thing about there's nothing so terrifying as kindness that might be taken away.
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah. So many layers and very thought provoking. And I do love that when a show actually makes you think
Mm.
a little bit deeper.
Yeah, when they stay with you afterwards, you're
Mm.
like, yeah, I do like that. Yeah.
So, as I said earlier, definitely watch Our Unwritten Soul because I think you'll enjoy that. It had a very
Okay.
similar vibe.
Okay. Yeah, I will do.
Good.
Okay, well, there's something is beeping in my house, so I better go find out what it is.
Well, thanks so much for the chat. That was fun. I think we should definitely do this again. Maybe after
Yes.
we watch Idle Eye.
Okay, well, we'll both watch Idolite and then we'll talk about it next month.
Okay.
All right. Cheers, Romy.
Okay, cheers. Bye.
Bye.
Now to figure out how to end this.